Thank you so much for giving of your time to us, to just share your stories. And that just means so much. It gives such hope and just such encouragement to just be able to be like, yeah, these people are they're just normal people. And, and that what we have in our hands is something so valuable to share with other people if we just go out and just love on people. So it's been awesome. Thank you.
Oh, I love it. When I was growing, when I first started, that's what really motivated me. I'm going to tell you guys a really quick story because I think it's really powerful how your mindset, and we're going to talk a little bit about that, how our mindset is literally everything. But I just started, I just turned gold. I just turned a gold ambassador. And it was one of those things where, okay, this didn't actually happen, but it felt like everybody quit. So I had lost several customers, and ambassadors. I was real quick, like just sharing with everyone. I got to gold within a month or two. So it was like I was really growing. And again, it's the amount of people that I reached out to that did it for me. But it just seemed like everybody was quitting. And then on top of that, I had somebody call me on the phone and just chew me out and then blast me on social media. And it was just really hard and just, it was hurtful, just to put it mildly. And anyway, that was the last straw. Like that came at a time where I just had like 3 or 4 people who were nice and said quit. But when this person was rude to me, sorry about my child, by the way. Luke, Mom. Oh, sorry. Hold on. I'm not going to yell in front of you. Sorry. Yay, Fortnite. Okay. So anyway, I was definitely at a time where I was done. And I told Amber and Jana, who were my uplines, I texted them. Well, first I texted my husband and I said, I'm done with this. It's not working. This is what I said. It's not working. I'm not good at this. Everybody's quitting. Like, does that sound familiar to anyone? Like, do you hear those limiting beliefs? Like, is that actually true? No, but I felt like it was true and I claimed it as my belief, right? And he was like, all right, well, good job. You gave it what you had. It's fine. You don't have to keep going. And I was like, okay. And so in my brain, I was definitely done. And then I texted Amber and Jana both. And I just said, ladies, I love you both. Thank you. This was so fun, but it's definitely not for me. I'm not a good salesman. Everybody's quitting. And I don't like to do it anymore. And I'm done. Anyway, can you imagine, you guys, how many of you know, like I'm an Emerald Ambassador. Can you imagine if I would have, how many of you had somebody on your team tell you they were done? Anyone? How many of you felt like you were done? Right? We all feel this way. I can't even tell you how many times I quit. But in my brain at that moment, I wasn't like being dramatic. I really was like, no way. I am not good at this. I am not a salesman. So Amber was doing Youth Alive. She couldn't talk to me or them, but Jana called me on the phone. And she said, and this was probably mid-July, end of July. And Jana called me on the phone, and I don't remember everything she said, but I do remember how she made me feel. She just listened to me. She has a gift, by the way, with just speaking life into people. And all she said to me, she didn't argue with me. She didn't try to convince me. She just said, well, Amy, did the products work for you? Well, yeah. And she was like, and is Ann on here? Ann Scahill? I think Ann at the time, she told me about Ann Scahill. How many of you got to hear Ann's story or know who that is? She told me, guess what? At this time, I had only suggested Slim and Accelerator. I didn't even know about the triplex at this point. This is years ago. Didn't even know we were gut health. Had no idea. I had no idea. She told me about Ann's story, and this is what she said. She told me that, so she built belief in me. She heard me out. She asked me questions. She built belief in me, and then she was like, I want you to go look up Lori Harrison, who was a diamond. I want you to hear Lori Harrison's story, and I want you to hear what she has to say about gut health. That's all she told me to do. I went and I listened to Lori. Guess what happened? My belief sparked. Did anybody have a moment like that this week? Did you, just hearing their stories in our events? How can you not, if you are not plugging into our events, you guys, you are selling yourself short. I see Holly on here. Hearing Holly and her mom Vonda and their story, that skyrocketed my belief. Like, if you are ever lacking your belief in Plexus, all you need to do is go and listen to some stories. That's it. Go listen to Ann Scahill's live. If you're lacking it, go to our health and wellness group for yourself and just go and listen. Those testimonies will light you up. So that's what it did to me. All of a sudden, you guys, nothing changed. That lady was still mean to me. Several of my people had quit. Nothing changed. My circumstances did not change, but I changed. And there was only like, I don't know, maybe 10 days left in the month. I ended up signing like 3 or 4 more ambassadors. I ended up signing some more customers. I reached 1,000 PV for the first time, which made me earn Leaders Retreat that I didn't even know existed. I didn't even know anything about Leaders Retreat, but if I wouldn't have hit that 1,000 PV, I would not have qualified. And that was my very first Plexus event, which just skyrocketed me to an Emerald Ambassador. In less than 2 years, I hit Emerald Ambassador. That was like a year and a half later, from that point of almost quitting, I turned Emerald. Like, doesn't that give you goosebumps? You guys, there's literally nothing special about me. I was sitting in my tiny little trailer. Like, I have no fashion sense. I have no following. It was just my belief. So I want you to know these affirmations this will literally change your life if you can actually do them. So I don't want you to raise your hand here, but I'm going to say this. If you didn't do the whole process, if you just wrote down some affirmations because you wanted to complete it, you're selling yourself short. And I'm going to tell you, you're going to want to do this over and over again. Like, literally, when you're feeling down, or not just down, but just any kind of negative thought. Because here's what happens. Negative thoughts are going to produce negative beliefs, okay? And when you have those negative beliefs, it's going to make, you're going to think that it's going to have negative actions. It's going to cause negative results 100% of the time. And you're going to take it, and we're human beings. It's not bad to have negative thoughts. You're going to have them. I have them every day. But what I've learned to do, and it's literally been transforming for me, I write it down. And my husband's listening. Even in my marriage, like, if I'm like, whatever you write, like, I literally will write it down. And Bob Hiley calls it the formula of transformation. But it's kind of like we just talked about. You write down your circumstance. What's your circumstance right now? People told me no, or somebody was rude to me, or I don't know, I'm not where I want to be. Whatever your circumstance is, then write down your thoughts about that. Okay, nobody likes me. They're rejecting me. There's something wrong with me. Is anyone feeling this? Like, do you feel these? Like, I'm not good at this. You've probably been, like, we've all felt that. Write it down, okay? And then write down, how do you feel? Okay, how do you feel when is anyone feeling open and want to share? Like, a negative thought they've struggled with and how they felt. Oh, there we go, Jessica. Thank you. If you want to unmute and share, or if I see your hand, I'm going to call on you. I'm going to scroll through. Any hands? Okay. Ooh, who's unmuted? Oh, go ahead, Jessica. Go ahead. Hold on. I can't hear you.
I think I really got in my head a lot this week, and better.
Can you guys hear Jessica? Can you give me I'm so sorry, Jessica. I really want to hear you, but I can't hear you at all. Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me
Can
okay?
you hear me?
Oh, I heard that. Try again.
Hello?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I really want to hear what you're saying, but I can't hear you.
Probably my internet.
Maybe type it out and I'll read it for you. Or even in the group, if you guys listen, you can share on our group.
Probably my internet.
You what?
I don't know.
Okay. Type it out or maybe share in the group and we can go back. I'm sorry. I do want to definitely hear what you're saying, but it's just too staticky. It must be the internet. Yeah.
Better. Is this better?
Try one more time.
Any better? No.
A little bit. That was okay.
Sorry.
No, I'm sorry, Jess. Jessica and I were roommates in college. So fun. We used to sing together. Yeah, I'm sorry, Jessica. But here's what I wanted to hear from you. When you guys have your negative thoughts, I want you to write down how you feel about that. Okay? Is Dana?
Okay.
What? I still see you muted.
Maybe it sounds like someone else is unmuted as well. So maybe it's not just Stephanie. I think somebody else might be unmuted.
Okay, let's see. Let me mute everybody, and then Jessica, we could try one more time. Manage participants. It says mute all. So it said I'm showing everybody's muted, except for Jean, but I don't have a way of, but I don't hear anything from Jean. Let's see. All right, Jessica, try one more time. If we don't hear you this time, then we'll have to have you write it out.
Okay.
I'm sorry. No,
Probably my
it's okay. Sorry about that, guys. But anyway, what I wanted to say was when you have those negative feelings, okay? I really do want to hear. I know. I wish we could talk, Jessica, because it would be so awesome to walk through this with someone. So, is there anyone else? Because it'd be so much. It would be. This will be powerful. Who's feeling really brave and wants to and just kind of go through this process with me about just some negative feelings that you may have had this week or ever? Anyone? I'm gonna look for hands. Feel it. I know some of you. You're like, oh, okay. I see Peter. All right, Peter. Hi, Peter. Let's see if we can hear you. Oh, good. We can hear you.
Yes, great.
Okay. So I'm not a coach by any means, but I still think this will be powerful just to kind of give you guys an idea of what I'm talking about. So do you mind sharing a little bit, Peter?
I don't mind at all.
Okay, awesome. So what are some negative, or what's the circumstance that you're going through right now, I guess?
So my circumstance right now is my self-esteem has been pretty low. You know, I joined Plexus 2 years ago. I didn't take it serious until last year. And then this fall, I got into some, financial trouble. Wasn't able to afford my product, but 3 months ago I'm back on it. And I'm not going to quit. So that's where I'm at right now.
I'm really proud of you. I'm glad that you're back.
Thank
So when you say your self-esteem is low, that's a thought, right?
Yes.
That's a thought. So your circumstance is that you quit. So you were taking Plexus, you quit, and then you started again, right?
Yes.
Those are just the facts. So your thoughts about that would be your self-esteem was low. Do you mind sharing?
So when I had a great success story. Last year, I lost 40 pounds.
Yeah.
I was working in business really hard, but I was getting no from everybody. And then it culminated, about October, November, that I stopped trying because I was taking it personal, and it hurt. 'Cause I literally had I think I was 23 no's at the time.
Okay. So this is so good. I want you to stay with me, okay?
Okay,
I'm breaking it down for you.
sure.
Okay. So you just the circumstance is you had 23 no's, right?
Yes.
When you had 23 no's, okay, what were some thoughts you had about that? Why did you think people were telling you no?
Um, I felt I had a bad approach. Um, my sales pitch, quote unquote, was not right. And I, I was trying to overcomplicate it's what it was, but I thought I'm not good enough. And I couldn't believe, I was getting so many no's. I was like, gosh, maybe they don't like me. So
Now, what you're saying, how many of you can relate to what he's saying so far? Okay, Peter, you're so
yes,
brave. Thank you for doing this. I want you to know you're not alone. I felt that way. Look at all the hands. We've all felt we're not good at, like, that resonated so much. So when you're feeling you're not good enough, you're overcomplicating it, this is your feelings. You had a bad approach. How did that make you feel?
well, the worst of it was I felt worthless, and then in turn made me sad, and so and then I felt depressed.
Okay. So those are our feelings. So you see his thoughts are forming his feelings, right? When you're feeling depressed and bad and worthless, what actions did you take when you were feeling that way?
I gave up.
And what result did you have when you gave up?
Oh, it turned into a snowball. And when I gave up, the results, it got even worse.
Wow. I'm so proud of you for being back on here. So here's what I want you to do, okay? What he's saying is so brave. I want you to acknowledge, like, just the fact that you came back and you're even on this call on Easter is huge. And you're on the right path, and I'm so proud of you. But I want to just teach you guys, this is something I'm still practicing. I'm not the expert, but it has literally transformed everything for me. Here, you can't change the circumstance, right? That is out of our control. What can you change? What's the first thing you can change? Which you might have already done.
Well, I've worked on changing my thought process, and the one thing that stuck with me, after 23 years in the military, was never quit. And so what I was doing was not working. So instead of doing it over and over again, which is the definition of insanity, I need to try something different. So I went back through the training program through Plexus. I was overcomplicating it. The send, share, invite made it simple. I joined the book club, and honestly, that book is amazing. It is amazing. And so I just started reaching out to more people, being honest. Okay, so Anne, wonderful Anne, got this for me after last year's convention. So I filled it, and this was where all my 23 no's reside. So I went back and reprinted from the virtual office and started a new list. And I had one ambassador from last year, And Friday, I signed up my second ambassador.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I have one in the pipeline. So
Good. That's awesome. I'm honestly, that takes a lot. And I think that's amazing. I love that you just went back and like, okay, I'm going to do this again. So just for an example, if you're like finding yourself in this spot, like Peter, take a moment and write this down. What's my circumstance? And sometimes you got to kind of like write this out, because those get foggy. Your thoughts, you think those are your circumstance, but they're not. The fact that he had a bad approach, he overcomplicated, he felt not good enough. Those are not fact, because he can't prove it, right? Those are just his thoughts of what he believed. So write those out. But now here's the crazy thing. Just write the opposite. Even if you don't believe it yet, just take a moment and just write, just see what it's like. Okay, let's pretend that this is the truth. Don't worry about if you believe it yet, but why don't we write down, the truths. So I have something people want. I am capable. I've lost, what'd you say, 40 pounds?
40 pounds last year.
Wow. I've lost 40 pounds. I know these products work. People need them. I was in the military. I could do anything. Like, I'm a hero. People respect me. Like, write these things down. Now look at your smile. Like, now if you say those things to yourself, how do you feel?
I'm happy. I'm motivated, excited, and honored.
Yeah. And here's the truth. Those are things like everyone on this call can see that in you. I mean, just thank you so much for your service. Like, you are a hero and you are determined and you do have an amazing story. Like, why not change that story in your head? Because really the truth is, those thoughts all those thoughts are just our stories we tell ourselves. And I've had to say this before, like, those 23 people, they actually can't hurt you. What hurts you is your thoughts about those people. They only have power over you if you let them.
Right.
So we actually have total control of this, but it's so crazy, but we have to like stop, even if it's just one thought. And kind of practice. But then once you feel motivated and determined and you feel good and honored, how are you going to act now?
I think, that phrase from the book, I have a choice.
Mm-hmm.
Simple, and it made a world of difference.
Yeah.
Right there. The negative thoughts, I have a choice. And, with PTSD, depression, anxiety, I'll be very honest. I've had 2 suicide attempts. And, this works. This is a great community. This is what I love about Plexus the most. The community, the people, the care, and the spirituality.
Right.
So.
I love that. And I do want to just tell you guys, I'm glad you said that. Maybe some of us are. I'm not a doctor. And I know that there's things that we have control of our thoughts, but sometimes there are other things going on, like PTSD, is that what it's called?
PTSD, yeah.
PTSD. Or if you have some kind of, we are never going to say don't seek the help that you need, whether it's counseling or even medication. I know we love our plant-based and we do, and it does help so many people, but still just make sure you take care of yourself. Like, I just want to acknowledge that, like that. But when you're feeling motivated and you all of a sudden, like, you're obviously here now, right? So you've been working, and he signed an ambassador. He has someone so when you have these positive thoughts and you start actually believing it, you're going to start showing up differently. So I'm going to just be a little personal with you guys again, real quick. Oops, I feel bad. I wish they wouldn't make me admit people. I'm sorry. Okay. So I worked really hard, always with Plex. I've never really taken a break. This has been our family's main income. And for the last few years, you guys, I have been killing myself, like working so hard and in frustration, because I have felt like, why am I still Emerald? Like, I work so hard, I reach out, I try to train my team, I do this, I do that. And it took some personal development, some process of my thoughts, and even Jana talking to me and just being like, well, you feel like, I think you've lost your belief. And even in Plexus and in yourself, because you don't even believe it's possible anymore. And I didn't realize that my fear and my doubt was coming across. Even though I was doing all the right works, you could just feel it, right? But when I just stopped and I let that stress and that fear go, only by kind of going through this process, it's so strange, but my business just started growing again. And because what happened was I got more confident because I had more belief, and I'm putting that out there. You know what I mean? Like, can't you feel when someone's passionate? And can't you feel when somebody believes in something? So the reason why we're going into this is because, guys, we can tell you, and we have to tell you, this is how you reach out, invite people to our events, relationship build. You can do all of those things, but just like Peter said, when he was reaching out to his people, maybe, I don't know, because I don't know his, I don't know that you and I even know each other, Peter. So I'm not prejudging at all. I don't know. But sometimes it's just a skill that we have to learn, just like anything. So sometimes we're putting all these messages out there, but it's coming across in a way that maybe isn't professional, or maybe you have some hesitant yourself. I know one of my own level ones, I don't think she's on here. She was just doing everything we were telling her to do. And then I finally just outright asked her, I said, do you think Plexus is expensive? And she was like, because she kept getting money objections. And I don't really get that as much anymore. I know it sounds weird, but how many of you have had money objections? People are like, oh, too expensive. Okay. Well, what I didn't realize, you know why I didn't have money objections, you guys? I really haven't had that many. Here's why. Because I joined for the business, and Plexus totally changed my life as far as income. And so when people told me they didn't have the money, the pure belief, I would be like, oh my goodness, good. Neither did I. That's why you got to do this with me. Like, are you kidding? Like, that's why you got to do it. If you don't have the money for your health, what are you doing that's going to change that? You know, like, you need to join me. But can you hear that passion in my voice? Like, don't you want to join me? Like, oh my goodness, yes. But if I were like, oh, well, yeah, no, I get it. It is kind of it. You don't even, however you come across, whatever you believe is going to come across. Well, my friend, when I asked her, do you think it's expensive? She was like, this is what she said. She goes, well, yeah, it is expensive, except for ProBio 5, because ProBio 5, like that, she had all these stomach issues and a gallbladder thing. And she goes, people really need that. And I started laughing. I was like, so it's not that it's expensive. It's you don't know the value. You don't know the value in it. And I said, if you're feeling like it's expensive and you're coming across so hesitant, then people are going to feel that, coming from you. Sometimes we provoke objections in our people. So I don't want that to stress you. I want you to know this. Okay. Everything's a learning process, you guys. Everything. I've been doing it 6 years, and I still I'm nowhere near where I want to be. Everything is a learning experience. And that's how I kind of give myself grace. If I don't know, if I'm not, a top diamond, or I'm not this or that, or guys, I'm not going to lie to you. I hate it. I shouldn't admit this. Okay. Let me say it in a positive way. I don't know how to say it positive. I don't like when people ask me product questions. I know, isn't it horrible? I hate it because I don't know. I'm not sciencey. If you ask me about the ingredients, but here's what I know. I was still able to get to Emerald still until this day, not loving when people ask me product questions. Here's what I say. I don't know. I just know it works. But you sound like a researcher. I'm going to get you the ingredients, and I want you to tell me why. And you know what? Those people love it, because the people who have all those billion questions, they're going to research anyway. They might as well do the work for you. I'm not doing the work. I don't even know. So, but isn't that crazy? Like, we have our strengths and weaknesses, and that's okay. Everything's a learning experience. Now, if I really sit down, I know a lot more than I think I do. But I'm just saying, we all have our strengths and weaknesses. Sorry. But anyway, I don't want to keep you guys on too much tonight, but I do want to open it. If you need to go, you could definitely go. But I just wanted to share a little bit about why we're doing the affirmations, and I want you to go through that real process. Thank you so much, Peter, for sharing with us. But guys, even if it's just take a moment, write down all of your negative beliefs. Write them down. Be honest with yourself. Take days, take pages. Write them down, all the things that are holding you back, all the things that you believe are true. Write them down, and then even if you don't believe it, I want you to write the opposite down. Just write it down. And if you've already done this, has anyone already done that? Who actually took the time to really do that weekly activity? Did anybody really do it? Jeanette, I saw your hand. You knew it. I tricked you guys, right? You knew. I warned you, if you raise your hand, I'm going to ask you. Do you mind sharing? How did that process go for you?
Well, I actually had a really big list by the time I got done, so I ended up combining them to make my 3. And I probably could keep going. I was just making notes here to continue that process, I guess. I have to go back and see what I wrote, though. Now I know in general, what I came up with was God is in control and I will not be afraid.
Mm-hmm.
Because I get really nervous about reaching. I made 88 connections this week, but that was building the relationships and checking on people. That I'm natural at. But when you have to bring in Plexus, that's where I get really scared. And a lot of the people that I invited to the event, 14 ended up, accepting the invite. But a lot of it was because I was like, come support me because I'm doing my testimony.
Aww.
And so I felt like, okay, they're supporting me because I'm on there, but are they going to watch everything else? Which is what I want them to see, more than just mine, because so many more people have powerful stories compared to mine or might speak to them. And so I was really hoping that they would watch more. And I don't know if they did. I think they were just there. Oh, there's Jeanette. And, and so, not being afraid and knowing God is in control is a huge one for me. The second one was being consistent. So I've got all the Plexus planners and all the sheets that you fill out for IPAs. And, I've done those things and I've stayed on track. Okay, 3 contacts of this and contact 3 ambassadors and contact, daily. And then I fall off. And I use the excuse that I work full time. I have 3 kids. My, husband's a police officer and works crazy hours. And I take care of my mom. I have this huge list of time constraints that I use as excuses. Mm-hmm. And so making the time and being consistent was another one. And this week, I'm real competitive. So meeting my assignments and actually doing what I've been assigned to do and exceeding that. So my goal was 10 because ranking is my goal. Good. 10 a day. I was doing 20 a day. And, a couple of times I only did 14, but that's okay because I was still doing what I wanted to do. And then my third one was, in the end, I know my overall goal is for my family. My kids are like, when are you going to retire with Plexus so you can be home when we come home from school? When are you going to pick us up in the car line more? Things like that. Mm-hmm. And then just being able to be there for my mom. And I think in the end, that's my end all be all goal. And that's what I have to focus on.
I love it. Sounds like you have a really powerful why.
I do. And I have it written out like in detail, why is that my why? What are my goals to get there? And I just fall off so often. I did print them out. I did put them right by my desk so I can say them every day. And I thought I was going to have to look them up, and I didn't. So that's good.
They're in your heart. I love it.
Thanks. But it is a powerful why.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. And I just want you to, you said one thing that I just wanted to acknowledge. You said, I reached out just to check in on people, and that's natural, because you know what? That is natural. And that is what we should be doing. If you do just that and invite people when it comes natural, like, here's the thing, everybody needs Plexus, you guys. everyone you know has a need. They just do, right? But we are either going to attract or repel them. And if we're just sent, and now I think you guys have seen my post, I was the queen of copy paste. When I go back, I cringe sometimes and like what I did, and it did work sometimes, but I would send literally hundreds to get 10 to maybe say yes. If you're willing to do that and you want to do that, by all means, it works too. But guess what? I probably burned a lot of bridges too, not meaning to, but I didn't even like know, like I didn't let that hinder me because I knew like my kids need this. And I would train my team that too. But what I've learned is if people just know that you genuinely care about them, and by being natural for you to reach out to them many times, and maybe you could tell me if this is right or not, it does just kind of come up naturally, right? Like if you're in a conversation and you ask the right questions, people are going to open up to you. People love to talk about themselves, right? So if you just talk to them and you build that friendship, and you know, okay, I saw this at one of the trainings, and it always kind of stuck with me. And I don't mean to sound this manipulative, but just to kind of give an idea, everyone has a little W above their head. You know, you can ask questions. Okay, good. I'm glad you asked that. I'm going to tell you, Vanessa. Here's the questions. Everybody has a little W. They either need wellness, they need weight loss, or they need wealth, right? So if you call them, this is something I learned from a different training. We called it form. You know, side note, I'll post this for you guys so you don't have to. But you ask about their family, you ask about their occupation, you ask about their recreation, like hobbies, and then you know which message to give them. So form. So just in general, how are your kids doing? Or like classic, if I were sitting next to someone at a park, you know, just another mom. And I did this naturally anyway, because I'm just pretty talkative. But oh my goodness, which one's yours? Oh, how old is he? You know, just talk about their family. 9 times out of 10, they're gonna tell you something. You know, like one of the moms, one of my ambassadors, total stranger I met at the mall. She was like, oh yeah, she's like, I'm on my lunch break. My mom brings him up here on my lunch break because I work at JCPenney. And my mom keeps him, and I just want to be able to be with him and see him. So on my lunch break, she brings him up here. That broke my heart, you know, because you could see in her pain. So what did she need? She needed the wealth. She needed a way to make home. Like, so I wasn't going to be like, oh my goodness, you need Plexus, right? I wasn't like, I'm not going to scare her, but I just like took a mental note, kept being a friendship. And then later on, after I got her number, because I think I took a picture. I don't know what I did, but somehow I was like, let's stay connected. You know, you're so sweet. I'd love to stay connected with you. I got her phone number, got her on Facebook. I just handed my phone over and I was like, hey, find yourself on Facebook. I'd like to stay connected with you. Anyway, but I knew she needed wealth. So later on, because we already kind of built this connection, I was like, her name was Desiree. I was like, hey, I really love talking today. I don't know if this is for you, but I also really struggled with wanting to be home with my kids. I worked, you know, since my son was a baby until he was 4. And I work from home now. Do you want me to send you some information on that? So here, did you hear my words? Okay, I'm making this too long. I promise it'll be the last thing. But so if I say to somebody, can I send you? Okay, or you know, then they're doing me a favor, right? Can I do this? Or can I send you, or whatever, they're doing me a favor. But if I say to them, would you like me to? It's like I'm doing them a favor. I know it's strange, but it's strange, but it works. So I won't. So even today on my own Facebook, someone asked me something. I said, would you like me to send you an invite? Like I'm doing her a favor, not like, hey, can I send you something? Because then I know it's weird, but it's something mental. But anyway, so she was like, oh yes, please. Thank you so much. You're welcome. You know what I mean? Like, we're helping people. So do you see what I'm saying? Like, those natural conversations can turn into something if we're just like constantly, and it's good. I think it's wonderful that you ask them to come support you, because people do love to help and encourage, right? They do. People love to help. So there's nothing wrong with that. But the point is, just build those friendships. And I like to leave personal messages for people now. And when I'm just really bold about it, I pretend I don't even sell it. I know it's strange, But it's like, if I didn't sell Plexus and I believed in it as much as I did, wouldn't it be easier? Like, say your sister sold Plexus, you didn't. Okay, let's pretend you get nothing from it. Your sister sells it, and you have seen these testimonies. Would anyone be able to stop you from telling? Right? Like, for real. If your sister sold it and you didn't, you get nothing from it, but you believe, you've seen these testimonies, wouldn't you be like, oh my goodness, people, you need to check. Like, my mom is my biggest because she doesn't care. She just wants to help me, and she really believes in it. So she's constantly sending me people's emails and stuff. And then I'll put them under her. She doesn't even know that, but I'm just saying, because she's like, this stuff is a miracle. People need it. And she's just like, you need to talk to my daughter. You need to talk to my daughter. And she has no fear, because it's not, she doesn't realize she's benefiting. Strange. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's not, she's doing it, she thinks, for me, not her. So kind of take yourself out of it, and that goes either way. So that's just a little something that's helped me, to reach out. But anyway, I meant to say that it's wonderful that you build those friendships. That is why, I mean, that's just amazing. Either way works, right? You want a cold message like a crazy person, go for it. But just know you're gonna have to do it 20 times more than personal relationships. And the personal relationships are gonna feel a whole lot better, and it's gonna make your people feel a whole lot better. You really can do it both ways. But guys, how many of you find it a relief to just invite people to our events? Has that been a relief to you? Like, that is what we're trying to get you guys to understand. You don't have to know everything. You don't. Isn't that so amazing? And here's what I love about the events in our event group. We all have our different seasons, right? Some of us were in the season where we can share our testimonies, we can help out, we can do things, and that's the season we're in. And we thank you for that. If you have a powerful testimony, please reach out to us and let us know, because we want the more the better. But some of us are in a season where you're so busy, and you're like homeschooling 12 kids right now and trying to work from home, and your husband just lost his job, and like, are you kidding me? Like, I can't even do laundry right now. I am not able to do anything. But you can invite people to these events. You can have a place to plug them in. Your new ambassador, you want them to go silver, but you don't know what to tell them? Who do you know that you can invite to next Friday's event? Just bring them on. And the beauty of that is, we don't have to try to convince somebody to do something they don't want to do. Like, Jeanette, your people are going to see that, and they're going to be in there. Something might spark in them because you invited them. You know what I mean? So the key is also follow up with them. Ask each of them, hey, were you able to plug into anything else? What health issues do you have? Maybe I can tag you in one of the events. I'll see if there's anything in there. Your customer service. See? Okay, so I talked too much, but wasn't it good? Aren't you guys excited? Okay, so here's the thing. This coming week, it's going to be the same thing. I'm going to put it in the units. You're going to have a weekly assignment. You might have two. I don't know yet. We're going to be focusing on attraction marketing. Okay? Just like we don't want canned private messages, we do not want canned Facebook posts. You guys, those get ignored. If you look at your post, look at your next post. If you have like 2 likes from your upline only, that's an indicator people don't want to see it. You're doing something, right? It's okay. We all start somewhere. If you guys have ever seen my first video, it was the most horrific thing you had ever seen in your whole life. Literally, I looked like death run over. I was in my pajamas, and this wasn't even unusual. I didn't even know it was weird. My kids are literally jumping on my rugged couches behind me, and I'm like, guys, I don't even know if this stuff works. I don't know. Like, I'm going to post it was so bad. However, I had a lot of people reach out to me. You know why? Because it was so real. They're like, me too, girl. Me too. Who loves, what's that lady? I love her so much. She's that lady that Jenkins, you guys know that, Tiffany Jenkins, Juggling the Jenkins. Why do people love her? Oh, if you do not know who she is, look her up. I have tried so hard to recruit that lady, you don't even know. I'm like, I will send you a full triplex. Please, just mention her. Because people love her because she is so real. Like, plus she's so funny. Whatever it is. We're going to talk about being real, being yourself. You don't have to be in your PJs, I promise. All you have to do is be yourself. Okay, that's it. Whoever you truly are, that's who we're going to focus on being this week. And it's going to be different because we're actually you're going to hone in to a certain person. You're not going to try to reach everyone. So we'll talk more about that this week. You're going to hone into who you are and who you're speaking to, because you actually cannot attract the people you need to attract without repelling the people you're supposed to. Like, I'm going to reach different people than someone else can reach. I'm too much for some people. But like the calm, sweet one, not that I'm not sweet, but I'm just saying, like, people relate to the people they are, you know? So anyway, we're going to talk about that this week, attraction marketing. It's going to be good. Who knows Instagram stories? Who? Oh, I only see a few hands. Okay. We'll talk a little bit about that. Okay. It's okay if you're not there yet, but we're going to talk a little bit about that. So it's going to be a fun week. Our daily task is literally going to be the same as last week. Okay. And okay. Let me tell you about the daily task real quick. Everyone's baseline activity. I love that Johnette said hers was rank, right? So Johnette, if she's trying to reach a rank advancement right now, and like, this is what she wants this to be her career, and this is like, she's in it to win it right now, then yeah, reach to 10 to 20 people and in relationship, you know, talk more about that, attraction marketing this week. But if that's where she's wanting to go, that's what she's required to do. She's her boss. She knows her goal. But let's say, I'm picking a name I don't really know. I don't know, Tracy. Tracy's an emerald, so it's not really Tracy, but let's just pretend. Let's say Tracy's like, listen, I just need my products covered. I just know that I love these products so much and I need them covered. Well, Tracy might only reach out to 2 people. It doesn't matter. Like, you pick your goal, and that's your baseline activity based on your goal, okay? So it's okay. It's not like Johnette is doing better than Tracy. It doesn't matter. If Tracy's goal is 2 people a day and she did that every day, she wins. Okay? It doesn't matter if she actually hit her goal or not, because I promise you, if you stick with it, you're going to get better. We only get better by practice, right? You're going to get better. It's going to get easier. Believe me, I have scared so many people in the beginning. It's not even funny. Oh, I'm telling too many stories. My first week of Plexus, we played bunco. I had like 12 girls that were my best friends from church. They were like my only friends from church. And I used to host bunco. Like, there was a game that we played at each other's houses. These were my literal best friends. And I went into a private group, just 12 of us in there. And it's like, girls, guess what? I just joined this company. You guys, I'm going to go to Hawaii. I'm going to get a Lexus. We're going to be rich. We're all going to be rich. All of us. I found the answer. I thought it was some secret. No, I didn't even know. I made it. It was the most ridiculous thing I'd ever heard. But I didn't know. I was so excited. And I said, listen, the first 3 people who join me, I'm going to put you under me. And then the next 3 people who join you, I'm going to put you guys under them. And then we're all going to go to, like, I totally described a pyramid scheme, 100%. I'm going to lose weight. This is a magic pill. I didn't even know. Guess what happened? I repelled every single one of them. And to the point where some of them got mean. Some of them still hate Plexus. A lot of them came along eventually, especially when I did go to Hawaii and get my car. But I'm just saying, like, I totally repelled them. And some of them were gossipy about me, and like, they were like, what happened to her? Like, what in the world? And they hated Plexus because I was such a psychopath about it. But you know what? You learn, right? You learn. I made it through. So it's just skills. We're going to learn our skills. Okay. So this week, we're going to plug in. Our daily tasks are basically the exact same thing, and we're going to focus on attraction marketing. And I'm so excited. Okay. I'm going to give you one more secret. We're going to come up with a hashtag. I want to hear it. We're going to put a little, we need to do our drawing. Okay. We're going to do a little hashtag, something where if those who want to do stories, we're going to hashtag it for each other. If you're confused, don't worry. You're going to get it. It's going to be fun. Okay. But we need to come up with a good hashtag for our group. So be thinking of a hashtag. Okay. Real quick, we're going to do our drawing, and then we let you go unless you have questions. And if anyone else needs to go, they can. But don't go now because you want to hear the drawing. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to go to random.org. This is $50, guys. Wish I could be in this contest. Okay. All right, random.org, and I'm just going to look on my phone at the comments. Let's see. Building freedom. If you're on my team, you're so used to me being crazy. I know. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to look at see if you guys can see that. Okay. So I'm going to go to the comments. I see there are 68 comments. I'm going to share my screen with you, just so you know I'm not cheating. Now, here's the thing. If I pick a number and it's you tagging somebody like, hey, Laura, make sure you hit comment on this, then I'm picking a new number. It's fine that you did that, but you don't win if that's the comment I pick. It has to be you telling me what activity that you did, okay? So let me share my screen so you can see what number it is. Can you guys see that, random.org? I'm going 1 to 68. This is so much nicer than having to write 68 names on a thing. 57, all right. I'm going for it, guys. Now, of course, I had to be 57, which is going to take me forever to do it. 1, 2, I'm just doing picture. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9.
Why don't you count backwards?
17. I thought of that, but I didn't think I was smart enough to do that.
Okay.
2, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. Okay. Are you ready? Okay. You guys hate my guts. All right, I didn't do it right because I wasn't counting the little tiny comments in between. All right, I'm going to count backwards. Somebody tell me, what is 68? No, minus 57. Okay, that is 11, right? 11? Okay, then I can do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and that is Jan Parker, who is on the call tonight. Okay, that's 11 up from Jan. Where's Jan? Yeah, I love Jan, you guys. If you haven't heard her story in our wellness group, she's a newlywed. I got to go to her wedding. She's so precious. I love you, Jan. I'm so happy for you. Okay, Jan's local to me, so we get to do some events together sometime. Well, not now, but we did. All right, you guys, I love you so much. I'm so proud of you for being on this call at Easter night. I know it's a weird Easter, but still, you're amazing. And you got this, you guys. Please just plug in. Your life can be so different in a year. We're going to do this, right? Okay. I'm going to go ahead and stop recording.